In parts of Thailand, people believe that if you leave your clothes outside at night, something will wear them before you do. And what it leaves behind isn't dirt. A young doctor moved to a remote village. 2 weeks later, he found his clothes covered in blood. Then animals started turning up, completely drained. And one night, he followed a floating light into the jungle and saw something that shouldn't exist. Deep in Southeast Asia, there is a legend people don't like to talk about after dark. The Krasue. By day, it looks like a normal woman. Someone kind. Someone familiar. Someone you might trust without question. But at night, something changes. Its head detaches from its body, floating silently through the darkness, while its organs hang beneath it, dripping, pulsing, alive. And the most terrifying part is this. It doesn't hunt strangers. It hunts where it already belongs. Naran never wanted to leave Bangkok. He had spent years studying medicine in clean, controlled environments. Bright lights, white walls, predictable outcomes. In the city, everything had an explanation. But after graduating, he had no choice. The Thai government required him to complete rural service, and he was assigned to a small village deep in the Isan region. It was isolated, surrounded by jungle and rice fields. The clinic he worked in was barely functional, just a wooden structure, with a rusted tin roof that trapped the heat like an oven. During the day, the air was suffocating. At night, the silence felt unnatural, too still, too quiet. The villagers treated him with respect, but not trust. They came to him for medicine, for small injuries, for infections, but for anything serious, anything they didn't understand, they turned to something else, something older. Naran lived alone in a small, stilted house near the clinic. Every day, a woman named Auntie Molly came by. She cooked his meals, cleaned the clinic, and moved quietly through the rooms, as if she barely existed. There was something unusual about her. Her skin was pale, unnaturally pale for someone living under the tropical sun. And no matter how hot it got, she always wore high-collared clothing. Sometimes, Naran noticed her touching her neck, rubbing it slowly, absent-mindedly, as if something beneath it hurt. But he didn't think much of it, because the food she made was incredible. Rich curries, thick broths, deep, comforting flavors. It reminded him of home. 2 weeks into his stay, something strange happened. One evening, Naran washed his clothes and hung them outside between 2 trees. As the sun dipped below the horizon, a farmer walking past suddenly stopped. Not casually, abruptly, like he had noticed something wrong. "You should bring those inside," the man said, "before it gets dark." Naran smiled politely and asked why. The farmer hesitated, then said something strange. "Because not everything that touches them is human." And then he walked away. Naran laughed it off. He believed in science, not superstition. The next morning, he stepped outside to collect his clothes, and immediately stopped. The fabric was stained. Dark patches. Thick, dried blood. But something else was mixed in. A sticky residue clung to the cloth. And the smell, metallic, rotting, wrong. He stood there, staring at the stains, trying to explain it. Dogs? Monkeys? But the marks weren't random. They were concentrated around the collar, the sleeves, as if something had been wearing them. That thought stayed with him. He burned the clothes, just in case. Later that morning, he mentioned it to Auntie Molly. She froze, not surprised, afraid. The tray slipped from her hands, clattering loudly against the floor. Her breathing became uneven. Her hands trembled. "Don't leave anything outside," she whispered. "Not at night." For the rest of the day, she avoided him and kept touching her neck. Over the next few days, things got worse. Chickens began disappearing. Then goats. Then something larger. Each time, the result was the same. No blood. No signs of struggle. Just empty bodies. Whispers spread through the village, but no one would explain anything directly to Naran. Then came Dao, a young woman heavily pregnant. Instead of celebration, the village prepared. Men dragged thorn-covered branches from the jungle and stacked them beneath her house, layer after layer, sharp, dense, intentional. Naran asked if they were expecting wild animals. The headman avoided his eyes, then finally said quietly, "Some things don't walk. They float." That night, Naran couldn't sleep. The air felt heavy, suffocating. Every sound seemed louder than it should be. Then he saw it. A light floating between the trees. It pulsed slowly. Red, green. Not like a flashlight. Not like fireflies. Something else. For a moment, he considered ignoring it. But curiosity got the better of him. And if you're into real horror stories like this, make sure you subscribe now. Because what he sees next changes everything. Naran stepped outside, moving slowly through the tall grass. The closer he got, the worse the smell became. Rotting meat, decay, something sweet and sickening. Then he heard it, a wet, dragging sound, slow, rhythmic, like something moving that shouldn't be alive. He raised his flashlight, clicked it on, just for a second, and saw it. A human head, floating, hair tangled, skin pale, eyes rolled back. Its mouth was smeared with blood, and beneath it, organs, lungs expanding, a heart beating in open air, intestines hanging, glowing faintly in the dark. Alive, breathing, watching. Naran's body locked in place. His mind refused to process what he was seeing. Then, the creature turned and looked directly at him. It screamed. A sound that wasn't human, wasn't animal, something else entirely. Then it shot upward into the trees and disappeared. The next night, it came back. Faster, closer, moving straight toward Dao's house. The villagers saw it too. Panic spread instantly. They hid the placenta, locked everything down, prepared for something they clearly understood. But Niran didn't. The creature reached the house. It tried to enter from below, but the thorns caught it. Its organs snagged on the branches. It shrieked in pain, then rose slowly toward the window. Naran looked up and froze. It was Molly. Her face twisted into something unrecognizable. Her mouth stretched wide. Her eyes filled with hunger. She lunged forward, snapping her jaws, trying to force her way inside. Naran grabbed a lantern and threw it. Flames erupted across the window frame. Her hair caught fire. She screamed and shot upward into the darkness. The village didn't sleep that night. The next morning, Naran went to Molly's house. He didn't know what he was expecting, but he knew he had to see. Inside, the air was thick, heavy with the smell of iron. He found her body lying on a bed, breathing, but headless. Then, something hit the roof, a heavy, wet impact, and slowly, something descended. Her head, floating, lowering into place, reattaching with a sickening sound. For a moment, everything was still. Then she opened her eyes, sat up, and smiled. She stood slowly, walked to the stove, and poured him a bowl of broth, holding it out to him, as if nothing had happened. Naran stepped back, and that's when it happened. A drop of his blood fell to the floor. Molly's eyes snapped downward. Her expression changed instantly. Hunger, violent, uncontrollable. And suddenly, Naran felt it too. A strange sensation at the base of his neck. A deep, growing hunger. The smell of his own blood. Suddenly sweet. Irresistible. And in that moment, he understood. He had been eating her food every single day. The Krasue is one of the most feared legends in Southeast Asia. A curse passed through saliva, drawn to blood, to birth, to life itself. Some say it's just myth, a way to explain disease or death. Others believe it's real, a curse that spreads quietly, patiently, and once it begins, it doesn't stop. So what do you think? Was it real or something else? Let me know in the comments. And subscribe, because next time, we're going even deeper into the darkest folklore in the world.